some niggas, yeah. Man, I got it, wow. What the yeah. We about it, get the green, yeah.
Hey, what's up guys? I hope you enjoyed the first season of our vlogs and tournament coverage. Right now enjoy a highlight reel of the year and then I will run you through how the whole year went 2024. Let's get right into it. After that, it really crushed a bit our morale. Playing on probably one of the coolest center courts on the ATP Tour. Where I went to bed one night and I was like, wow, okay, we keep playing, we can actually win this thing. I've said it before that those 10 days, they changed so much for me. Alright, so we started the season 1, not like the ATP season. We started already in Metz, because that's when the content journey of Julian and myself started. And that's also where we were able to win our first ATP points on the ATP Tour, Constantin and I, eventually making our first final in Metz before getting ready for our first slam in Australia and Melbourne. We kicked off the year in Hong Kong, where we played the Bank of China Open, followed by going to Adelaide and then eventually playing in Melbourne at the first slam of our careers. Already the tournament in Hong Kong was an incredible experience. Getting into the new year there, meeting a lot of new people was the first time in Asia for me. Great to witness the culture there, eat interesting foods, see interesting places, and then going for the first time to Australia where it's summer. So it was also nice, besides the tennis experience, to escape the European winter. Also amazing experience playing in Melbourne. I will never forget walking through the tunnel and then going outside, walking to the court. This feeling before the first ever Grand Slam match, I thought, it would not move me that much, but it was really an amazing experience, and I'm sure for Constantin as well. And really nice to share this with him because we worked so hard and played so much in the 2023 season leading up to that. The first 2-3 months of the year were quite frustrating. It also put a lot of pressure on us because of the lack of points we made. Because in tennis, we always have to perform. There are no guarantees to stay at the ranking at the level you are, so it's usually better to make a certain amount of points steadily, but I also think we had to digest, so to speak, all of these experiences going to Australia, playing a first slam. I also made some changes for myself after the beginning of the year. I got a new trainer. I started working with Christian Rauscher. He trained me differently in the gym and working on my footwork. Initially, the fruits of that labor weren't reaped. So after a rough start into the season, we went into the clay court swing, starting in Sadar and Naples, playing not so good, losing a couple super tiebreakers. After Zadar and Naples, we flew to Estoril for the next ATP 250. Beautiful tournament, amazing site. Portugal, close to Lisbon, was impressive. Also, really nice hotel area right by the beach. Also shot a lot of great content, cool vlog. You should really check that one out. It's one of our best, in my opinion. There we also had a tough loss in the super tiebreaker, which was quite devastating after the previous super tiebreaker losses. Nonetheless, it was a great experience all around at the tournament, which left hunger for more onto the ATP Tour, which also came quite soon after that, going to the BMW Open, where we had quite high hopes because of the altitude there. The conditions really suit our game style with the big serve. We're playing with power and also playing at the home crowd, so we had high hopes. We thought, okay, now we can finally shake it off and start performing and go on a run in Munich. We lost there also in the first round against Struff and Mies. Struff completely dominated the tournament in singles, so not the easiest first round. Nonetheless, we lost this one always 9-11. After that, it really crushed a bit our morale. Nonetheless, even though we had a tough situation, we stayed there. We practiced for 2 days in the cold conditions there, windy. It was crazy weather. I think this paid off because after that we still had a bit of a rough one in Rome, but then we really started to pick up momentum playing in Cagliari. Also Julian joined me there It's after Estoril, probably my second most favorite vlog, so you should also check this one out. Don't worry, I will not say that about every vlog, but those two are really, really nice. Also now when it's cold, giving me a good vibe because of the sun and beach environment. But back to the tennis, we finally turned it around and won a tough first round, playing over 2-3 days because of rain delays, then winning a super tiebreaker after being up already 9-5, coming to 9-8 second serve. We were really relieved after that one, and the rest after that we really picked up the momentum. We won the challenger in Mauthausen in Austria and made the semis in Geneva, where we started beating top teams and really felt like our game is coming together now. We have back this confidence from last year when you go on winning streaks. And we also had this learning that obviously on the ATP Tour, you play always against good opponents, which means you will probably lose a bit more, which is a new situation for us at the time, because last year we played only on the challengers where the competition is very good, but obviously on the tour it's a bit better. So statistically you win less on the tour, which gives you less rhythm. Before that we were used to playing matches 3-4 times a week. Now we were like playing 3-4 matches a month. So yeah, the matches in Mauthausen and before gave us confidence to then perform great in Geneva, making a semis at an ATP event right before the French Open, Roland Garros. We were like, okay, now it's our time to really attack at the slam, because also the conditions in Paris are quite good for us. The clay is fast, the bounce is high. We faced first round the doubles team Matos Melo from Brazil, and the atmosphere at this one was crazy. It was my personal favorite match of the year. We lost it in the end 10-12 in the third set super tiebreak, but we played the full set. So at the slams you play the whole third set and then it came to a tiebreak which goes to 10. And there was so many fans from Brazil and fans from Germany, and it was probably like a Davis Cup tie. It's one of the best memories of the year, and even though we lost it. And that gave us still a push. We played the hometown challenger in Heilbronn, where we did solid. We made the semis, and then there was time for the grass court season. My personal highlight, playing the Boss Open in my hometown in Stuttgart. We started really strong in Stuttgart, beating Kravitz-Pütz, second round beating Cornet Zhang. Then again, it's to Matos Melo, who beat us so close in the first round in Roland Garros, and there we even had match points in the semis. So starting to build up momentum, starting to have success, but still these heartbreaking losses in the super tiebreak. And this is just one thing. This is the reality of doubles. In doubles, the margins are small, the competition is strong. It will oftentimes come down to these close moments, and the guys, Matos Melo, they were just better than us. You have to respect it. They played a great match. They won Stuttgart eventually, but nonetheless, we took it as a big positive going to Halle, where we were rewarded with a wild card, probably the biggest tournament we have in Germany. And there we had another crazy match against Bambri Olivetti, also with a rain delay, defending match points now. You know how it goes. Early in the year we had match points, we didn't make it. There we defend match points, we win. And then there was a huge success, first time winning a round at an ATP 500, because those are so crucial for the points, these ATP 500 events, because you get a lot of points. It's a small draw. One round is similar to winning a round at the Grand Slam. Gave us even more matches at this higher level. And then the final tournament before Wimbledon, we went to Mallorca. I think on the islands we just like to play. I don't know, we typically play pretty good. We made another semi-final there in a great setting at the Mallorca Country Club, playing first round, really solid match, then drawing a big crowd, playing against our good friend Dustin Brown. Many German celebrities there, so it was an interesting vibe. And then also losing a close super tiebreak in the semis, which in the grass the margins are probably even more smaller, but it gave us a really great push again, another 3 grass court matches, which is so crucial because the grass court season is so short, before eventually stepping to the third Grand Slam of the year.
Besser lief es dagegen für das deutsche Herrendoppel Constantin Franzen und Hendrik Jedens. Die beiden Außenseiter aus Düsseldorf und Stuttgart gewannen überraschend ihr Achtelfinale in 2 Sätzen.
As I've stated, we had a long and very intense build-up of the grass court season with many matches leading up to the absolute highlight of the year. What else than the most prestigious tournament, the tournament every kid dreams about, Wimbledon. Wimbledon was really something where I realized how a few good days on the tennis court can change so much for you as a player, as a personal brand, fulfilling childhood dreams. All of these things, I've said it before, that those 10 days, they changed so much for me. It was just was a really beautiful story for Constantin and me, where we went from winning our first match actually at a Grand Slam, the first round, to beating the #1 in the world team at the time, winning another round, getting to the quarterfinals of Wimbledon. Out of a sudden, everything seemed possible. And where I went to bed one night and I was like, wow, okay, if we keep playing, we can actually win this thing. And how the crazy thing, how like before the tournament we were eager to make our first win at a slam, and then just see what happens to out of a sudden being like, okay, we can win this thing, or we can go to the final. And a lot of the attention we received and messages from people, it was crazy. It was too much at the time, but it was really an amazing rush, really ecstatic days, ecstatic absolutely. And also, even though so much things around the court, the biggest highlight was on the court, competing the matches, playing in all white on the grass courts, the Wimbledon feeling, the crowd. It was a tremendous experience that I don't want to miss, and I'm really grateful that I was able to experience this, which gave also so much hunger to have this feeling again. And then eventually losing the quarterfinal and going out of Wimbledon without being broken, which I think no team has ever achieved. I'm not 100% sure, but many people told us that we're the only team that hasn't been broken at Wimbledon. I'm not sure if that's true, but it was crazy how good we were serving that week and winning the close points, and then eventually getting stopped by a better team that day in the quarterfinals. And after that, celebrating with friends and with the team was really a magnificent feeling. And we were even able to take the swing from the grass courts to the clay courts to Hamburg, where we went to the semi-final on home soil, playing on a great center court, also getting obviously a lot of support after the Wimbledon run in the first round. It was amazing how the crowd pushed us from being down 4-7 in the super tiebreak to 10-7 against the later Olympic champions Pierce and Ebden, which was also one of the best matches of the year, before we eventually lost in the semis to Gravitz Pütz, who were the better team that day and who are now in the Turin finals. Tremendous strong team that nonetheless showed us like we can hang with a team like that, gave us a lot of confidence. And then we went to Kitzbühel, which is very close to home for us, even though it's in Austria, where we made another ATP final, playing on probably one of the coolest center courts on the ATP Tour. Full crowd, amazing support, even though we played in the final against an Austrian player. And we also captured this in one of our vlogs, that it was just tremendous to compete there on this court in the summer, hot. It was great memories, and a great city, great panorama in the Alps. Yeah, really scenic and really beautiful experience going to the final there. Obviously a little bit of a heartbreaker, losing the final in the super tiebreaker, but I think we couldn't complain about the summer of tennis.
War wirklich eine Ehre, hier zu spielen, auch wenn wir natürlich heute aufgrund der Gegner nicht so viele hinter uns hatten wie gestern, aber es hat trotzdem mega Spaß gemacht und ich hoffe, wir konnten euch zeigen, wie cool, wie intensiv das Doppel sein kann, wie umkämpft. Leider nicht auf unserer Seite heute.
Before we eventually took a few weeks off, few weeks training, and also a few weeks reflecting of what just happened, because those 3 weeks and those 4 weeks, and obviously mainly the 2 weeks in Wimbledon, they changed a lot in our perception and how we're perceived in the tennis world. So after a brief break at the end of July and in August, we had the next big highlight of the season upon us. something that for Constantin and myself as former college tennis players is also one of the biggest highlights of our career is the US Open in New York, in Flushing Meadow. And this city, this stadium where the tournament is at, the area is very special to really soak up the US tennis vibe. We played a preparation tournament before in Winston-Salem, and it was really nice to get back to the States. For me, it's been like 5 years since I was in the US for the last time, and so many great memories came up. It's a really cool country, and I always enjoy my time there. Unfortunately, we lost in the second round of Winston-Salem and then eventually in the first round in New York. We had tough draws. I mean, at the top of the game, it's very competitive. But then after, I took also some time to really see the city of New York, which is the most impressive city I've been in so far. Kind of also being a tourist, really trying to benefit from being a tennis professional and being in New York, and not just the things on the court, but also making all these great experience off the court. There was a great time in New York, and obviously next time around would like to improve the tennis performance, but it kind of felt like a bit of a cool end to the college tennis story, that you play college tennis there and then eventually in the end you make it to the biggest tournament of the US tennis circuit. Was tremendous, and also showed me again what's possible, how you start humble and small in college and eventually go to the biggest tournament, the US Open. Also a new situation was after New York. We had the Asian swing ahead of us, so we mainly played in Europe the whole year. Obviously the Australian swing and Asians, or the one tournament in Asia beginning of the year. So it was a bit new ground for us to fly to the US, then come back home, train a bit, fly to Asia. In Hangzhou, where we played another final on the ATP circuit before we eventually had to go back because I got hit a bit with a sickness and some issues with scheduling and the qualities of the 500s, and a bit of uncertainty if we would get into the Masters. So the China swing was cut short, just 1 week instead of 3. But nonetheless was great to experience this country, this culture, but also exhausting because of flying to the US, then flying to Asia. China took a bit of toll on our bodies. We really felt that the year is long, and it was a bit different compared to the 2023 season where we played mainly challenges in Europe. And this year we played a lot overseas flying, and it just takes a different toll on your body, the jet lag. Also, you have to do a lot of preparations, getting the visa, going to the embassies. A lot of stress that is not necessarily just the tennis, but this is how it is on the highest level, and the higher you go, the bigger the players are. They have even more media responsibilities, so it's all part of it. It's more than just playing tennis. It's entertainment business. These are things we have to learn, and I think we will grow from, and next year adapt to it and handle it better. Then we decided after the shorter Asian swing to finish the year indoors in Europe, the European indoor hardcourt season. Normally hardcourt is our strength, is where we made huge points last year, where we're dominating completely normally, especially in our service games. But maybe it was a long year, and also it was good opponents, but this end of the season was not as good. Last year we finished the year with the final in Metz as tournament of the year. This year we lost in the last tournament, first round. Nonetheless, this should not lessen the impact and the amazing season we had. It wasn't finished on a high like last year, but now it's a couple of weeks after the last tournament. I'm sitting here and I really realize what we've achieved this year. Having a great year, establishing ourselves, playing mainly on the ATP Tour, which is completely different than playing challengers. Now it's time to find an end to the year. Really nice for me to talk about it and relive some of these great memories, and it's time to rest a bit, recuperate, get the body right, get healthy. It's not long, then the end of the year is here. It's time to fly out again towards Asia, towards Australia, and to start the next season and to take you guys on the journey of season 2. I hope you enjoyed the season 1. We're always open to hear your feedback of what you like to see more. I hope we can deliver more success and more great off-court scenes and things for you guys in the next year. So I'll see you in the episode 1 of season 2 for the next vlog.